Let's do some microphone ASMR. Oh yeah, there we go. All the lovely little scratches and noises and let's clean some up here. All right, we are ready. Hey, Captain Pulse. Ow! How's it going? Aski, how are you? Happy Monday. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's time. One of those Mondays, study Mondays. And today we're going to study that. It's a little bit strange to study a mannequin, but I need to, do a little bit more like that so I can see the subtleties of the values. Hey Zelin, how's it going? Bruno Romanos. How are you? Wonderful people. Beautiful people. So we're going to do study of a mannequin. I think that's a lot of subtleties and a lot of a sleep-deprived Zelin, but it was the weekend. How dare you? Does that link work? It should work. Hey Weeping J, hey C-Art, how's it going? Yeah, so we're gonna do, I think what's good with this reference is value, the contrast of the background foreground, the value range of lit versus shadow side, and it's a very clear, because it's just white, right? It's not skin tone with pants or whatever. It's you'll just focus on the form, even though the anatomy is, the head. That head is hilarious, but I think it'll be a good study to practice. You can study perspective of the feet versus the hips. A lot of people in the beginning, they make the mistake of how they're placing the feet versus the pose, and a lot of times it looks very unnatural and forced and stiff. Feet placement versus like shoulder placement and so on. So I think, even though this is not like the best example, I think it's going to be a good study for a lot of you. And let's start. For those who want to participate, there's the reference. And let's go. Oh, Jesus. Let's go. I'm going to go grayscale. Just so that it's easier to understand. I don't want it like the gold subtlety there, or beige subtlety. Hey Ray, that Tormod, how's it going? Hello everybody. Okay, let's that neck is gonna mess with me significantly, I think. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, purposefully, is just try to put landmarks down, right? Landmarks down so I can start correcting my mistake. Because I always make mistakes when it comes to placement. So that's something I know is one of my flaws. Is my eye wanders and does incorrect measurements. So what I want to do is, as soon I'm gonna flip the canvas when I feel like I have somewhat accurate proportions down. I'm gonna flip it and then see where I've done mistakes. That head is hilarious. Oh, that's a bit of a shame, Tormund, but glad that you're back. Hey, Dame Deviant. Good morning. Okay, so let's see here where the major mistakes are. I think also now I'll start placing a little bit more of the like separations of which is the shadow side of the volume, so we get correct rotations, because sometimes the inside silhouette can fool the eye just as much as the outside silhouette. So what I want to do now is just try to start kind of like measuring.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Eric Moy, with that powerful number 5. How's it going, man? I must say, thank you very much for the support, man. It's felt right in the heart. I hope everything is fine with you, your wife or girlfriend, wife, and your baby. Maybe it's more than one baby. Baby. Here's the reference. 2 kids, that's fantastic. Being swamped with work is an okay thing to do, I think. I'd rather hear and I've been swamped at work rather than I got fired, I have no jobs, and I've been struggling to make ends meet. So the fact that you're saying, "Oh, I have too much work to have fun," is okay. I can live with that. You know, so that I know your family and your babies are being fed and have a place to live. That's all that matters. I can live without. I can live without Eric Moy for a little while, but don't be too long. Hey Kirill, Soferman, how's it going? Yeah, of course, Soferman. There's definitely needs to be a balance. I mean, you can't do just hard work all day, every day, and then you're gonna burn out. But what I meant was, like, if you think about it this way, like, it's better to have too much to do, being busy at work, than opposite. So it's a good problem to have. Like, I know that a lot of times, like, oh, I have so much to do, I can't like have my own private painting time, but then I just try to remind myself, like, it's a good thing now and then, to be too busy, rather than I not have anything to do. I better come up with something so that people give me work, or Hey Tormod, that Twitch Prime next month. Next is 9. We'll get the number 9. Twitch, baby. Soferman, yeah, exactly. Yeah, pro tip: don't die. Yeah, I heard that that's a good idea to do. Not to die, I mean. That's a pro tip right there. Oh, 9 month sub is a Twitch baby. Oh, that's pretty cool. We could have a warm up baby for those who have number nines. Okay, let's flip again. Totem mode. No, I'm not gonna make you a baby. It's all right. Don't worry. Don't worry, man. I got you. I got you. You're not gonna be a baby. Or are you? that that neck and the head is like, am I actually doing this right or am I doing something wrong here? I think I've actually done something wrong here by making his shoulders a bit too wide. Even though he is very wide, the mannequin, Mr. Mannequin. Something like that. Yeah, there's the ref if anyone wants to join in. I mean, kids cost money. My mother, she said something a long time ago that I kind of cherished and I enjoyed. When I first said to her that I'm making, like, we're having a child, congratulations, you're gonna be a grandmother for the first time. She was like, oh, you know, all that happiness, and she's like, well, I've always said you either have babies or money. You can't have both. Kirill, for me, the study is about the subtleties of the values, which I have yet to deal with. I've been dealing with proportions. I feel now the proportions are somewhat accurate to some degree. So now I'm gonna start fixing the light. Like, try to this is what I'm doing here. We all know the basics of the sphere, right? The like standard rendering sphere. So everything on the lit side is gonna have its own value range. Everything on the shadow side is gonna have its value range. And one thing that you have to remember with this one is that the brightest part on the shadow side can't be darker than the darkest part on the lit side, right? So this is the darkest part on the lit side. This is the brightest part on the dark side. You have to separate the values. So that's what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be looking at the values and try to see where, like, each area where the value groups are, and in my mind like split the, you know, like the sphere, so it's on one side or the other with the values, so that I can clearly see, you know, on the reference which direction the form is turning away from the light source, which is top left. Oh, well, thank you, Iglesias. So that's the goal of this study for me, at least, and I think a lot of people will benefit from doing this study as well, because I see a lot of mistake from you, all of you, when it comes to values. I think it was Zialin, or is it Atski? I mix those two constantly up. But one of them is doing like limited value sketches. And I recently told him to be more elaborate with the values. So the shadows are not equal strength across the form, so that there's actually a difference, like on the sphere top left, that just because it's a shadow doesn't need it to go full strength shadow, like black. What you got to do is find like the Terminator being that edge, Terminator being the edge here where the light stops interacting with the lit side stops being lit, and it turns to shadow, and then the rest is global illumination and bounce light and so on. Well, anyway, so the problem I see with a lot of you is that you're mixing your values a lot between the Terminator, and that's wrong. It makes a very noisy picture. Yeah, it's Atsuki. Yeah. Hey, Cosmoverse, how's it going? And Zialin, yeah, the same applies. I think the same applies to you. You are also having that mistake, or you're also doing that mistake. But that being said, majority of people make that mistake. So don't feel like you're alone with the problem. There's a lot of people doing that mistake. And a good way of thinking about that, how to control the values, with a friend of mine, Mike Azavido, like from full white to full black and the gradient in between. Right, when you I've talked about this before, but when you're painting, you shouldn't try to do from 0 to 100 each and every single value. You should simplify. The value range, so that you can easily control the planes of the form, and then add a little bit of subtlety. But if you try to do each and every single value in the value range, you're gonna have problems with making the volumes read correctly. It's only later, when you're like really, really skilled in controlling the value range, that's a good idea, because you can add very much complexity to it. Much like what's his name? Miles Johnson. Do you know who that is? Let me find out. Is it Johnson? Johnston? Yeah. His rendering technique is crazy, and he can go full range. But one thing that you will see is that his separation of the values are spot on, like that simplified. This is in shadow, this is being lit. This is the local value that's being lit. This is the local value being in shadow. So as you can see, he has full grasp of how to render the value range. But you still need to be able to separate the two. There's lots of people who are really good at it. But nevertheless, Miles Johnston's example was just one of many. Like you say, that Chinese artist is also very good. A lot of traditionally trained artists, yeah, he's okay, but he simplifies the values a lot. You can see it. He chunks the values. Even though the light is very accurate, it's not the full range. So my example was with Miles Johnston was that he uses the full value range as an example. I mean, it's not right or wrong. I'm just saying if you want to use the full value range, you gotta be able to control it. That's the only thing. And when you start out, the best is to simplify the value range so you can control and understand which direction the volume is pointing, or which direction or which value the local color is. And that's why this reference, for example, is extra easy to deal with, because it's a mannequin white, right? You can see it and understand it because it's just one material, and the material is just interacting with the light source, and it's white, so you can easily see the variation. So I think it's a good study to do. To start understanding how to separate the two sides, which I said again is a mistake I see with a lot of you on Discord. And then we can start discussing edge control. I think edge control is something we should study too. I have a really good, very old image. Who was it? He had an interesting name. Back on conceptart.org forums. His name was like Mike Strong or something like that. It's not that name. I'm absolutely sure of it. That's not that name, but it was something like that. Something with P. Prost. Anyways, he posted a really good example. I think he was a teacher at some American art school somewhere, and he posted like an edge rule of the 5 important edges of portraiture. It's a really good reference. I saved it. I should have it saved somewhere, and I will make sure to share it next coming Monday, or I'll dig it out in the week so you guys can have a look. I mean, it will help you with the Unreal Bjorn entries. Steely Bob, yeah, absolutely. That's I think that's one of the good things about doing cast drawings. It is just that value range, light, proportions. That's all you need to focus about. There's no difference in material. There's no nothing. It's just stay focused. Yeah, which I am now. That's what quiet. Like, oh, focus mode. Look at the values. And another thing, like an old, I went to life drawing in museums, and they had like an instructor guy walking around, or it was a woman, I think. And the person said, like, two out of three, or 2/3, you should look, observe. 1/3 draw. 2/3 observe. 1/3 of the time draw. And it's like, look way more than drawing. And I think that's has a lot of truth to it, especially when you're drawing from something, you know, like you're doing a study of something. Because a lot of times we kind of glance, and our mind and eyes don't have time to look at all the subtleties. And if you spend a lot of time looking in one area, you start seeing like things are revealing itself to you. Hey, Ricky, how's it going? There's the reference again, if anyone is interested. I looked at an old paper. Google sent me an old paper before YouTube demonetized me. Like there was a while back where YouTube demonetized everyone. You know, unless you have a massive following. So everyone underneath like 5,000 followers or subscribers or whatever, or X amount of traffic, they were like, nope, you're not getting any ads. Well, you're getting ads, but you're not getting any money from the ads. So before that, YouTube, or Google in that instance, sent me an AdSense like revenue slip. And I didn't check it because, you know, whatever views I had on YouTube is what, 440, 50 views per episode maybe. So it wasn't, you know, I knew it wouldn't be a lot, like a minuscule amount of money. Which is, you know, the sad part when trying to build something that ideally you can use as a tool with, for example, with income, where you guys don't need to pay anything, but you just need to watch it, right? And just because you watch it, it'll benefit me money-wise, and you don't need to pay anything, you don't need to buy anything, you just need to enjoy the content, right? So I was thinking, like, that's best of both worlds. I can give you some cool stuff to look at, help you guys become better artists, and while you guys are looking at a thing, I get some money for it. Like, and I can pay for more stuff so that you can learn more. I was like, that's great, but YouTube had other plans. But anyways, I had a look at the AdSense revenue, and it was like 12 euros I had made over the span of, I don't know, season 1 and 2 or 3. I think season 3 they killed AdSense or ad revenue on YouTube. 12 euros. Oh man, what can you do with 12 euros? Buy 2 beers? What use is that? So funny. Hey Zelin, have a good day. Thanks for coming by. Nareda, yeah. One thing you guys should do, absolutely do, on Discord. I think this is a thing we need to do. Uh, I will make a note out of it, and we will talk it on tomorrow's warm up. I have tomorrow's subject lined up, something that will benefit us all, and the idea is about using the algorithms of Facebook and social media to our advantage. I know there is these groups that do that, and I think we should also do that. But I'll talk more about this tomorrow. It'll be a beneficial, like, tradition. I'm thinking about how to implement to benefit us when it comes to traffic and giving us more views using algorithms to our advantage. But more about that tomorrow, because there's 2 minutes left. I need to just give it a thought of how to arrange it until tomorrow. But yeah, we'll talk about it on tomorrow's stream. I think it'll be good for us, everyone involved. But the thing is, these kind of things only works, which I will talk about tomorrow, only works if everyone participates. Because you need to use the algorithms, right? And one person trying to play the algorithms there's no purpose, there's no effect. Anyways, more about that tomorrow. Proportions are rough. Surprise, surprise. The stomach muscles are way too short. Chest is too high up. Yeah. Right shoulder too far out. Bicep too far out. Arm or left arm too long. Time's up. Soferman. Oh, that's too bad. Good try though, good try. One last little edit, and that is to add temperature to it, because it'll make it look gooder. Gooder. Brain. Better. I can't believe I said gooder. How idiotic am I? Damn it, brain. Why are you the way you are? Gooder. It's ridiculous, brain. You can do better than that. Tormod Eric Moy, thank you very much for the subscriptions. You have no idea how much it means to this old man's heart. Oh, Ricky, oh man. I have no idea. Let's flip it back to the original direction. It's a bit too yellow. I don't like it. I'll do a little bit like that, so it's nice and subtle. Again, here's the reference if anyone want to do it. I'm going to post it on the Firestarter forums, a standard post, if you want to later on grab it. Have a let's find someone to raid. Who to raid? Andyface? What's Andyface doing? That's pretty cool. Boobs. Hosier. That's cool. All right, let's raid Hosier. Rape? I didn't say rape. Have a great day, but a gooder day. All right. Horrible English today. The goodest day, yeah. Have a great day, everyone. Good night, and you're that part of the world. See you guys tomorrow, where I will talk about the topic of using algorithms for our advantage. I'll do the outro and I'll switch over. Bye, everyone. You being here every morning is fantastic. Bye.